Okay, and this is another thing uh, bothers me too. I don't think I already talked about this because I had said I'd watched Odin's Man, but did I say what it was about? I don't think I did. I don't remember. That's how bad it is right now. This could be just totally a repeat of the same thing I just talked about. I have no idea. But when I was watching the Odin's Man thing, or Odin's Men or whatever, that this one was something about the trans people they're getting released from prison, men's prison, and going into women's prison. And this is just it's just gone so far. It's just so ridiculous. Okay, so you have real actual prisoners, real actual people, men who committed crimes. These are people that still have a penis. You know, they like to wear a dress. I don't know how they get classified as, because they identify as a female. Although they have a penis between their legs, they ignore the fact that there's something there. They just feel like a woman. Well, so 261 or 269 of them or something asked to be transferred into a women's prison. And all of them got accepted. None of them got investigated. Nobody got denied. Everybody just gets to go straight in. So were these people who have committed violent crimes, have they committed violent crimes against men, against women, against children? Have they raped? Have they done assault? Domestic violence in any way? Like, what are these people's rap sheets? And how is that safe for these women? And most of women are in jail are some type of victimization to begin with. Like, most of the women that go to jail, they didn't just go out and start committing crimes. Most of them were together with some man and got manipulated, got strung out on drugs, got involved with crimes through this other person. And some of them is their crimes is because of like women who murder. It's often because they're trying to save themselves, and this person's trying to kill them, so they murder them. So women's crime stuff is much different than men's crime stuff. So if you put these men in who think they're women, ignoring biology and science, and they go in and then they are criminals who have committed possibly violent crimes against anyone, I mean, that just puts all these women at risk. And Odin's point was that, I don't even know if that's his name, but his point was that, so we're going to put all these men in women's prisons so they can all have sex, and then they're going to have a whole bunch of prison babies, so then we get to pay our taxes to raise all these prison babies. Like, how's that fair for us? And I was like, that's a good point. I hadn't thought of that one. And then there was some news person. He kept doing the clips. Some news person talking to, you know, how they have somebody come in and the expert. I don't know if this was a college professor. They usually get stuff like college professors, attorneys, and stuff like that. Political analysis and shit. So I don't know what this woman did, but she made a really, really good point. And she said, while they are, you know, widening the rights, women's rights, they're expanding them to include men, it's really just taking rights away from women, because now we're right back to this, these rights are not our exclusive rights. They've got them, so all of these women who fought for rights for so long, now it's just getting swallowed up by these men who identify as women taking their rights, just like in sports and stuff. Like, they can just go in and start playing on women's teams because they say they're a woman. Well, not if you got it. How anyone has come up with this? Okay, they should have to start their own, just like the women had to start their own. Of anything, they couldn't play along with men, they had to start their own. Well, then that's what the trans community needs to do. They need to start their own sports teams. I mean, even like for men, the indoor football teams versus the outdoor football teams. Like, It's not the same players. Like, you have to, if you have something that you, like, if all these trans people want to do sports, then they need to have their own identifying teams. You can't just go in and take over all of this women's stuff and just stomp all over women's rights. That's not, I just, when she was saying her stuff, I was like, oh my God, that is so true. That is just such bullshit. And, you know, the way they do all this stuff, and just to keep us all arguing and fighting about it, when we're not the ones doing it. Just like I said about the gay marriage thing. It was like all of a sudden, everybody was attacked over gay marriage, you know, and the gay people not having rights. Like, the citizens are, you know, not just struggling to survive themselves. They're out there working against the gay people. No, that has nothing to do with the citizens working against anybody. It's always the government is working against the people. Different groups end up uniting and forming a cohesive group and saying, hey, we're standing up for our rights. Then they go out and start standing up for them. And then I think the mainstream media just twists the narrative to turn it into our problem. None of it's our problem. All they want to do is have us fucking fight. Like, why in the fuck would anybody need to fight over if gay people can get married? If you're straight, why would you care? Who's married? That's a government institution anyways. The whole thing, all of this stuff, you know, oh, you got to have their diplomas. You got to have their licenses. You got to have, now, this stupid infrastructure bullshit thing that they're putting through now is going to have stuff where we have more restrictions, of course, because that's, you know, they blow up the towers so they can put more restrictions on us and go in and watch our homes with NSA and all. Everything they do is just to take more rights, more rights, more rights. And they just... And the people who support these actions, you know, they don't even recognize that they're just taking rights away from us and keeping us all fighting about it. But these different people who go in, you know, and start fighting for the rights of different groups, you know, other people go in and join in and stuff. Like I think I had said that, but it just is. I don't understand. I even asked my daughter this morning. She doesn't said back. But it's really like, I really want to understand, how does this make sense? Like, how can you stand up for this person to get rights while this person's losing rights? How can we sit here and say that, oh, well, cops are bad, we should defund them, but let's, after they arrest everybody who didn't get that, then we'll defund them. First, let's have them do mass arrests on regular citizens who want to be free. And then we have, you know, the trans people taking rights away from women. I mean, like he said, there's not any women that see themselves as men, and they could even have penises in there too. They aren't being moved into men's prison. I don't know. They probably have moved some. Who knows? Maybe some of these people are them trying to move back because men's prisons are very violent. Who knows? I just know that they're not protecting these women in prison, and these women are definitely would be more of you know what? I can't think of the word, but more of the people who would be victimized in our society, and they need more help. I mean, I don't know. There's just, the government just constantly wants to keep us all fighting, and people just keep abiding by it, to argue about stupid stuff instead of just going in and looking at it from like multiple different perspectives. Well, how would this affect them? Well, how would this affect them? Well, how would this affect them? Them. Because there's billions of us. It's not just about one person. There's billions of us. So we have to see, how is this affecting everybody? It's not just like, oh, the rights of the people who have body dysmorphia. We got to protect their rights. That is the government doing it as an agenda because they have got there's a reason why they do this stuff. And it's disturbing. the reasons why they do things are always disturbing. And, you know, the more I think about the stuff about the sex in the movies and stuff like that, that is definitely, you know, they want to create these fetishes and just people who just have perversion, who can't be satisfied. They don't want to have families. They don't want any kind of a nucleus family structure. They don't want communities. They want total control, and they're willing to kill us for it. I mean, that's just facts. I mean, all you got to do is look around you. But I mean, people really need to just start opening themselves up to other people's experiences. And it's not this where we have these trans people trying to constantly shove it down our throat and shame us into supporting them. I mean, yeah, if we're going to support someone, I would be supportive. I mean, in like what way? Like if I'm out somewhere and I see somebody saying something rude to somebody, you know, do I go up and say, hey, that's rude, you're an asshole for talking down to someone like that? Or, you know, fight for them to be on Tinder? I mean, like, I'm not really sure what they're saying, besides, you know, that they are trying to educate people that they are just regular people too. I don't know. I don't know. But to me, they're being used by the government. And there's just the deep agenda behind that. And it's just so weird because my mom told me that like years ago. And I thought, oh my God, my mom's completely insane. What in the hell is she talking about? And I felt bad. Like, those people have a problem. Like, they really feel out of touch in their own bodies. And, my throat has lost my voice. Anyways, that probably is just to tell me, shut up. Stop talking about it. I've talked enough about it. I think I've made it clear how I feel about it. Yeah, it's an issue for some people. Oh, my throat's killing me now. Okay, I gotta go.